Welcome in, everyone, to another session with the Second Chances. Before we start, I'd like to get the thank yous out there. The first of which goes to Critical Role, whose amazing world of Exandria we are using, specifically the Explorer's Guide to Wildemount. For all the music you hear tonight, there will be some from Reliquary Records, some from Critical Role's Welcome to Teldore, and some from Dungeon Glitch, all of which can be found on Spotify, so go check all of them out. Last time, with the Second Chances, they have finally made it to Zadash, for multiple reasons. Roz looking to contact a quote-unquote blood doctor about her potential Kalistari blood rot. Leo looking for his sister and Triv. And I guess everyone else just, along for moral support. But they have arrived in Zadash just on the heels of the defeat they suffered after the Myriad ambush, everyone dealing with it a little bit in their own way. Leaf regained a few of his memories in regards to Kieran and some of their stronger moments that they've had since forming the Second Chances. Roz got to go to the Victory Pit, which seems to have inspired her in some way. And most of the group got to meet Enchanter Pumat Soul, the proprietor of the Invulnerable Vagrant, a magic shop in Zadash, and gave a little bit of insight into Leaf's condition. Gliss was not present for this, as she had slipped away just before that they had went there. For what reason, we're not sure, but we will get to shortly. But as you all leave the Invulnerable Vagrant, realizing Gliss isn't with you and knowing that the nightly nip doesn't open in the way that you need it to until later in the day, you all head back to, back to the inn as you A, wait for Gliss to show back up, and B, wait for nighttime. During this time, as you head back, Hermia.
Yeah?
We're going to go ahead and start with... So as you get back to the Coral Jug, you notice that there are a bunch of kids playing outside and inside the inn. As you're getting closer to it, see a few adults enter and a bunch of kids running in after them. Running around, just being rambunctious. They have wooden swords, shields, some of them bows as well. Yelling out various magical spells, claiming what character they're playing. But you all come back into the Coral Jug, and whether you decide to head up to your room for the day, grab a bite to eat, whatever it is, one of the kids, Hermia, actually comes up to you almost as soon as you enter. He's using a stick instead of a toy weapon, and he runs up and asks, "Are you from the Feywell?"
Yeah?
Will you come and play with me and my Well, they're not my friends yet, but the adults said they have to play with me for as long as we're traveling together anyhow. But nobody wants to be in my party, and they say the Loldren are lame. My name is Jet Dash.
Okay.
Will you come play?
Is the rest of the party around?
I mean, they can clearly see this happening, yeah.
Hermia's just gonna, look at Maeve, help children.
He takes you by the hand as a bunch of kids run outside and tries to lead you out after them.
Have fun, Hermia.
I'll watch from afar.
Okay, I guess this is happening.
Do you give the kid your name?
Yeah.
Okay. So, you go out, you kind of play around, and they are a little, they're playing with him, but you can tell that, they're a little bit older. He's maybe a little bit poor as well, because they have, all these,
He's
fancy
a little
toys
bit
in
poor.
store. Well, because they all have, these fancy, carved, swords and, shields and stuff, and he's just using, a stick that he probably found someplace. And it's definitely when you used to play Power Rangers and some of the kids would be like if there wasn't a Power Ranger left, they're like, you can be Alpha 5, this kid is that.
Oof.
Yeah, they're really not being super great to him.
You can be April O'Neil. All the turtles are taken.
Hermia, could you please roll a persuasion, deception, or performance check for me, whichever you prefer?
Yeah. I will roll a persuasion. Where's my dice? I got a 16.
Okay. Let me ask you, as you spend a little bit of time playing with these children, it seems they're playing, adventure. They're playing hero, essentially. What would you like to try and... How would you like to try and, influence them?
What do you mean?
Do you want to try and make this kid, seem cool?
And
how do you do so?
Hermia is going to shuffle around in her cloak a little bit and pull out one of the decorative daggers, that's not pointy at all.
Mm-hmm.
And just give it to the kid.
Okay, so he has a real dagger now.
It's decorative.
Which he loves. Yep, which he loves and throws away his dagger for. And you spend probably about, 10 or 15 minutes playing around with them. And now with his new decorative dagger, he is definitely a lot cooler in everyone else's eyes. And they take a look at their weapons, and suddenly they don't feel as real of heroes as he is.
Yeah, he's got the real deal.
Eventually, parents do begin to sort of pour back out of the inn and call the kids over. And Jet turns to you and he's like, "All right, my mom's calling. I have to go now. Thanks for playing, though."
You're welcome.
And
bye.
He turns, and as he runs back, you hear him yell, "I'm a warrior from the Feywell, Lalander of the Wildemount," and runs over to his mother.
It's just confused.
What name did he say?
Leelander.
Leelander.
This means something.
Make a wisdom check for me, Hermia.
Why? Because he said my brother's name wrong? Oh shoot.
Kieran, you get an inspo.
Wisdom?
Yep.
Just a check.
Yep. D20 plus your wisdom modifier.
14 plus 3.
Okay, yeah, so as he runs off, you're like, "That's weird. That's almost like my brother's name." And Wildemount, did he mean Wildborn? Are you not confused on why this little boy is suddenly mentioning all these details about his character that sounds a lot like your brother? In fact, you hear your sword comes up in the back of your mind. Go after him.
Okay. Hermia's gonna go after him, I guess.
Alright, so you kind of take a moment to double take a bit and then head after this kid right as he's coming up to his mom, and they're holding hands and starting to walk off. What do you do?
I ask him where he heard the name Leander.
So turning around, the mother notices you and is a bit surprised and looks down and goes, "Henry, another one?" And Henry goes, "Yeah, Leander is my hero. He's my favorite of the Wildemount."
Wildemount?
He means the Wildborn. Sorry, we didn't mean to bother you, although there's a striking resemblance to him. Do you know of a... I don't mean to assume that all Eladra know each other, obviously, but Leander Astoria?
That's my brother. Where did you meet him? Is he here?
No. He actually, now that you mention it, he did speak of having a sister back home. No, the group I'm traveling with, we're coming up from the Menagerie coast, when we passed through Trostenwald, there was a group of Eladrin that were there. They were only there for a night, and most of them were pretty rude and standoffish. But there was one, skin like a snowy morning, silver hair. He was very kind. He showed magic to the children, told them stories of the Feywild. Commanding officer scolded him, with the feeling it's not something that they do often, but he was a kind soul. This was about 3 months ago.
3 months. Where were they headed?
Oh, I'm not sure. I didn't ask about their business, and he didn't mention much. Just entertained the children that night at the inn.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Has he gone missing, or have you not seen him lately? Then?
No. That's why I'm here. I've been looking for him.
Oh, well, I wish I had more for you, but, maybe there might be some people in Trostenwald who perhaps know more. Again, we were just passing through for the night.
All right. Thanks for the information.
Sorry, we couldn't help more. And Henry, where did you get that dagger? As the two of them begin to, run off.
Ermia's just gonna pretend that she doesn't see it and walk away.
And as you do, your sword, coming back up in the back of your mind. Didn't your brother and his unit go missing 6 months ago in the Feywild?
Yes. So,
Perhaps
3 months ago.
when we're finished here, your group wouldn't mind going south to investigate.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Huh.
That you head back into the coral jug. It's up to you if you want to potentially keep this to yourself for now or talk to your party. Go ahead.
I'll mention it to Maeve.
Okay, well, think on it for a second, as we are going to jump over to Gliss. I would like you to give us a look into Gliss's mind, her demeanor. What was she thinking when she slipped away from the party?
So, so she really wanted to get a lay of the land, really just explores Zadash, and just kind of keep an eye out for things in relation to their quest.
Mm-hmm.
So she was thinking about how oftentimes Zana has to disappear and gather information and tell them you idiots, this is what you have to do. So Gliss was like, okay, maybe if I do that myself, then I can be helpful.
And as you begin to try to get a lay of the land, make your way around Zadash, it's not your first time here. You didn't spend a lot of time, but you have been in the city before, and you do have extensive experience in blending in knowing where to go to find rumors, to get some of the best information. And for the first couple hours, it's just like you remember. It's really easy for you to slip back into being alone, not having to rely on anyone, to rely on your own experience and expertise. And you managed to find quite a few rumors pertaining to some magical elements that maybe you can use to help Leaf. Quite a bit in regards to what you would consider the seedy underbelly, things that may actually, that you think that Roz and Zana are actually probably going to be pretty impressed that you were able to uncover. and one in particular, you know that you're supposed to be going to the nightly nip, but you got from a pretty, what you think, reliable source, that there's no way a nightclub would be the center for myriad activity in Zadash. It's too out in the open. It has to be something more nondescript, and you catch wind of a bakery that's serving as a front for the myriad and its supposed leader, the gentleman. So you head down to the western outersteads, looking for the hot crusted bun. It seems to be right on the corner of not a very busy street or busy block. The buildings here in the outerstead seem to be a bit sparser, at least where this is. You do see a dwarf going in, holding the door open for a Furbolg woman as she comes out. Here it is, the hot crusted bun. In broad daylight, what would you like to do? This could be thriving hotbed of criminal activity and organized crime in all of Zadash.
Would it be safe to say that I am in one of my commoner forms, just like
Yes,
some random
if you
person?
wanted to have not been in your gliss form, that's fine.
Okay. So I pretend to kind of peruse the selection.
So you're gonna go
What's the-
inside?
Yeah.
So heading inside, it's not very big. There's no place to sit down or anything. There's maybe 10 feet to the counter. It's maybe 20 feet long. And there's a door that goes back into the bakery somewhere. And in front of you is, multiple sort of little shelves and displays of all sorts of tasty treats. And standing behind the counter, currently talking with the dwarf and shoveling some cinnamon rolls into a bag, you see an old human lady. She's probably about 4'7", hunched over. She has really dense, curled white hair, glasses sitting right at the tip of her nose. She's like Tweety Bird's grandma of a character, basically. Talking in a low, hushed voice to this dwarf man, and just shoveling the sweets in there. Doesn't seem to be paying much mind to you right now. You're not even sure if she can see quite that far beyond where the dwarf man is. What would you like to do?
You said there was a door that leads somewhere, to the back room,
Back into the bakery.
and she seems pretty preoccupied.
She does.
Yeah, then I think Gliss is kind of thinking, okay, I should just scope everything out and just report back what I see. And then in Kieran's voice here, but it would be so cool if I could actually see what was going on back there. And then almost like an angel demon kind of on my shoulder.
No.
He tried to sneak into the...
Okay. With the dwarf preoccupied and this lady literally being just a few years away from probably turning senile, easy enough to do. What's your passive perception?
Oh, it's nothing.
I still ready. Well, not everyone.
It's a 10.
It's just enough. You do manage to sneak back through there, and as the door kind of shuts behind you, you do hear a jingle from the door as someone else just came into the bakery, but you're pretty sure that they didn't see you going. So you head back. Immediately to your left, you see the old lady starting to sort of bundle up the bag and take some copper and silver from the dwarven man. She's able to sneak further back into the bakery, and you can see now it's also this woman's abode. Sneaking back into the kitchen itself, it also shares space with what seems to be sort of a common room. There is a small table with 2 chairs set opposite of it. You see a tea set on the far side that seems to be probably antique, looks very, very fancy. And then 2 more doors in the back, one of which is open, and you can see that there's an office area of some sort.
Okay. I would like to, I'm going to slip into the office room.
Heading to the office, it is a tight, cramped space. There is a window back here, probably big enough for you to be able to slip through, if need be. And there seems to be bills, notes, sheets of paper, just everywhere, stacked up. This woman does not have a very good system employed here. And as you're looking around, sort of deciding what it is that you want to look into first, you feel a round, cold, cylindrical apparatus poke against the back of your head. And you hear, "What are we doing here, little mouse? Breaking and entering in broad daylight isn't really the best of ideas, now is it?"
Okay. I am in the form of an old man. So I turn around. Oh, I'm so sorry. I was trying to find the restroom.
You see before you, almost 6 foot tall orc. Shrouded in a cloak, one arm poked out with a pistol that is now about eye level. Doesn't seem to be cocked. They push you back a little bit with it. Who taught you how to infiltrate?
I don't know what you're talking about, son. I was just trying. I'm sorry. I didn't
Because you
mean to.
certainly didn't get this dumb watching me. Out the window, Kieran.
I knew it.
And then I'm going to just I think instinctively turn into old Kieran. Be like, "Are you almost eating my fucking?" And I say that as I'm grumbling and climbing out the window.
Zana holsters the gun, morphs back into Mira's form, and follows you out as well, shutting the window behind you, and then grabbing you and basically pushing you like older sibling, yelling, chastising younger sibling, pushes you up against the wall and is like, "What in the gods are you trying to do?"
And you can see that Kieran's about to just go off on a normal Kieran rant, but
She slaps your hand away too. If you put your finger up like that, she just slaps it back down.
I'm trying to work here, thank you very much, and everything was going very smoothly until you just decided to interrupt me.
What are you trying to do? Get the old woman's cinnamon roll recipes?
Yeah.
No. And can I perception check just because I know we're nearby to the hideout really quick?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, you sure
Yeah.
are.
Okay, so as you're kind of looking around and getting ready to say something, she goes, "What are you looking for?"
Voice down. And then I'm gonna say in her head, okay, so while you were doing whatever, I was doing some real investigating, and guess what? The Nightly Nip, that's not actually their HQ. Hot crusted buns. That's where it's at.
You can
Yeah.
see as Zana is visibly taking psychic damage. Where did you get this piece of information from?
Well, I'll tell you exactly how I found it. I tell her whatever I did. with my natural 20 investigation roll that I rolled earlier.
Okay.
Well, you better say it right now. For all of us.
Kieran. She grabs you by the ear and begins to walk out from behind the hot crusted bun. And once you get out into the street, just kind of like pushes you forward in front of her. I am not equipped to deal with this. You can explain this to Roz and Maeve.
We get to do anything yet.
You're kind of cutting in and out on the top and bottom of your
Oh no.
thing.
Hello.
Hi.
Yes.
Hey.
Yep.
Oh no, sorry guys. Kieran just. I didn't get to do anything yet. Why?
What? Kieran. I appreciate and respect, even a little bit, your initiative to try and get info. Even though I already got it for us the day before, and you don't try and infiltrate what you think is the headquarters of the Myriad in broad daylight.
Yeah, sure, maybe I shouldn't have done that. But I could have found, like, some ledgers or some, incriminating documents or something.
What did you see when you walked into that bakery?
Some stuff.
You saw an old lady who could barely see, and you saw an office that had no lock, no surveillance, no protection. Does that seem like the center of a criminal hotbed to you?
No.
Where were the
but
guards?
my-
Where were the locks? Where were the precautions?
Well, maybe there's a secret trap door somewhere, and then I was about to find it, and then you just stopped me. So really, it's your fault.
Kieran, the gentleman is at the nightly nip. You need to stick to what you do best, and it is not this. Walk.
I stand my ground, and
Okay.
is there an alleyway nearby?
Sure.
Okay. I step back into it, and in the shadows, I turn into Gliss, and I say, "You just decide whenever you get to leave, so I'm gonna do the same." And I'm gonna run off.
Okay. How far do you run before you look back?
Is she gonna chase me?
How
We
far
don't
do
know
you run
how
before you look
far.
back?
Yeah, probably like 30 feet. Like, I give it a good sprint and look back, like, I did a cool thing there.
And you don't see her.
What? And I turn back around and I try to go back into the city.
Looking around for her?
Nope.
All right. What do you do with the rest of your day?
I'm not gonna go do any more crazy shit. I think I would go back to continuing to spread rumors. And then I would meet up back with the party.
Okay. Go ahead and you can roll performance, deception, or persuasion for your rumor spreading. And I assumed you want to continue to reinforce the rumors that you chose before?
Yes. And specifically, I'm going to do performance because I am going to start spreading Roz's song, The Second Chances.
Okay.
Nice. That's a 26.
All right. So you spend the next few hours doing that, popping from sort of inn to inn, stealing the corner from like different bards in guitar buskers and whatnot. Probably making a few enemies at the same time, like Balthazar style. But eventually, as you know that the sun is going to soon begin to set and that everyone wanted to head to the nightly nip, make your way back to the Coral Jug. For those of you who have been there for most of the day doing whatever it is that you decided to do, eventually Kieran does come back. You haven't seen Zana since she went out to look for Kieran at your behest.
Yeah, seeing Kieran enter, Roz will kind of hurry over.
Same.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay. Does Anna not find you?
No, I didn't see her at all.
Oh. Weird, I sent her to go look for you.
Insight check.
Go ahead, Maeve Insight, Kieran Deception.
I only rolled 12,
I
so.
don't know. I'm not even going to bother as Roz.
26.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
You believe her implicitly.
Okay.
Very well. Where
Great.
were you?
And are we on our way to the nightly nip or are we there now?
Nope, you just got back to the
No, we're
Coral
in
Jug.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Then I would have shared with them my findings. And I say, so I know it's probably bad of me to slip away without notifying anyone, so I apologize for that. However, and then whether I just like draw on like a napkin or like maybe if we have like a map of the dash, I start to point out the different things that I learned in my investigations.
Okay. You wouldn't have a map
Um,
of Zadash, so if you just wanted to try and, draw on a napkin or even just give them,
Yeah.
the spark notes of all sort of the major locations in Zadash. Yep, enough to do.
And I say, so, gentlemen, yes, he is certainly the kingpin in Zadash here. But there are a few things too that I discovered that might be of interest to us. And then essentially I start to describe, I don't know if you want me to just send this out, Robbie, or just read through all of it.
It's up to you if you want to just drop it somewhere for them, put it in the notes, or, take them through.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll start by saying so there's this weird thing where there's this master thief that's never been caught. They break into the Tri-Spires, steal something really big and flashy, and then they leave it in the middle of the market, the morning after. There's been some things going on in the Myriad, not relating to us, but it seems like there's something going on northwestern of here that's causing prices in the city to go up, whether that be protection, certain messenger services that they have. And then last but not least, I think I found the actual headquarters. And then I said, of the Myriad. That's not the nightly nip, by the way.
It's
I
not the
try
nightly
to-
nip.
Mhm.
What is
I
it?
try to look cool, but like inside I'm smiling, like, oh yeah, this is gonna like freak him out. And I say, so the thing is with the nightly nip, with it being a nightclub, I mean, maybe Leo can attest to this or not, but it just seems strange that something so flashy and out in the open would be this criminal organization's HQ, right? So I did a little digging, and instead what I found was that it's this bakery here in the city. It's a bit quiet. I stopped by. I didn't do anything. But I think that's where they're actually located.
And why do you think it's in this bakery?
Well, I got into well, I was investigating in one of the taverns, and I came across this drunk gentleman, and it seems like uh, sometimes the smaller thugs, for some reason, they rendezvous at that location versus the nightly nip, and I think that's a little odd. So,
Um,
Maybe they just like pastries.
but like a thug?
I mean, well,
Right.
thugs do eat. One,
Right.
two.
Yeah, but this
uh,
is like.
Two, we literally have a letter from Helesna and Triv that she's at the nightly nip. And three, the myriad that we ran into at Onodesilo was in a seedy warehouse playing poker.
And depending on where you're at, the myriad can be pretty open if they're paying off the guard.
Are they open as the dash?
You're not sure, Leo.
Yeah, I'm not sure about
Okay, fair
that.
enough. I mean, some of what you actually came up with is actually really good. Like, some of that's good. Why did you not
tell us?
Yeah. Why wouldn't you tell us that you were going to
Why
do
did
that?
you just disappear?
One of us could have gone and stood watch for you, or, I don't know, beat the hell out of the myriad if they were there.
Well, let's get sheepish. I just thought that, I don't know, you could just divide and conquer and,
Divide and conquer is a great strategy, but we gotta know.
It only works if we know who's being divided.
yeah. No, you're right. I'm sorry. I should have said something.
Now, my
I just-
biggest question is how did you evade Zana? Because she usually finds the person she's looking for 100% of the time.
Now
And
we gotta
where-
find her.
And where is she?
Maybe she's a little rusty. I don't know.
I feel like I need to make another side check.
I see.
Go for it.
I'm going to inside it, yeah.
Yeah. Kieran, make another deception check.
Oh, God.
15. These rolls are not doing me too well.
Okay, 13.
Okay.
17 plus 5.
Okay, whatever.
What would
Okay,
you say,
so-
Leo?
So, you don't necessarily know the whole context of it,
Yeah.
but with the way that Gliss looks when she says, I don't know, maybe she's getting rusty, there is some resentment in that. There's definitely like some, the little sibling and the older sibling probably got into a fight of some sort, and there's like some, like, poor sportsmanship in there.
Something
I just
wrong?
kind of give her a smile and a wink.
Is there something you're mad at Zana for? Because I'll tell you what, her leaving without telling us makes me very upset.
Same.
But no one calls her out on it. So why is it just
We-
me?
She's 20 something and you're 16.
Okay.
I also think you'll be better receptive to it. Not to mention that this is a wonderful opportunity to maybe say something.
I also like you more than I like her, so like, I definitely care when you leave.
Aw, Hermia, I'm sorry.
Zana
But-
heard that.
Probably.
Either
I'm gonna
way.
get stabbed in my sleep, but it's okay. I stand by it.
Can I use the Oracle's locate chosen to try to see if Zana's within 500 feet?
And as you do and you focus, you can tell she's just outside the door to the coral jug.
Alert! Zana is actually right outside the door. She has
Oh.
not abandoned us.
Excellent. I'll go right to the door.
As you head to the door, it opens. Donna. Time to head to the nip.
I think we need to talk.
Then we can talk while we walk.
Why is the hurt? Besides the fact that you want to be the.
Figured Leo would want to see his sister and Triv, no?
I do.
Leo, then you can decide if we're gonna walk and talk or talk here first.
Well, there seems to be a lot of baggage. We could probably take care of that now before we head out. So we're
Zana
not.
rolls her eyes and steps in, shutting the door behind her.
Enough with the secrecy. I look between Bliss and Zana.
Zana looks
We're all-
to Gliss. Is that right then? No secrets?
I don't know. You tell me. Are you gonna disappear in the night again?
Kieran, I want you to make a persuasion or an intimidation check. I'm leaning more intimidation with how you said that.
Mm.
Hmm.
Oh, I would like persuasion.
Would ya?
More. I would.
I like those
You
extra.
can borrow someone's intimidation.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
who has good intimidation?
Go ahead and
Mine
do
did
persuasion.
actually
then.
like mine's 5.
I don't think she's trained in it. That's what she means, because her charisma's pretty decent.
Oh, do you use my intimidation?
It's
What's
minus
yours?
1!
Oh no, God.
Go
Trick
ahead and
us
roll.
every time.
Go ahead and roll persuasion. Then it'll be a bit higher of a DC, but go ahead.
13.
I best serve this group using my skills at nighttime. If you would prefer that I check in before I do that, as my current, she looks to you, Roz, employers, that can be arranged. Are we good?
Employers?
This is a job. You asked me to come here. My boss told me to accompany you. When you're ready, I'll be outside. She steps back outside.
Wow.
You guys haven't dealt with a lot of assassins, have you?
No. Who does that on like a regular like like I'm pretty sure if we asked like 5 people, nobody would say, "Yeah, I totally deal with assassins like every single day."
Gracie from behind the counter goes, I've never, to my knowledge, dealt with an assassin, so...
Yeah, we got the 1 out of 5. Either way, we will address this, I suppose, another. Gliss, I can appreciate the information you found, but please, 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 if you have a thought, an idea of something, let us all know. Like I said, you're not alone anymore. We can all figure it out. And we'll get Zahn into shape at some point for it, too.
Yeah. Whatever. Thanks.
You good?
Yeah, let's go.
And
So-
there will we go.
Everyone leaves the Coral Jug. You head north up to the city of Zadash, around the eastern side of the Penta Market. And after about 45 minutes, the sun now nearly fully down, painting the sky behind the tri-spires, foreboding red and orange. You eventually come upon the Nightly Nip. It definitely stands out on this particular street amidst the line of older, somewhat aged single-floor establishments. The Nightly Nip seems brand new, maybe 10, 15 years old at the most. The stone wall is painted a vibrant red, the window trimmed black with glowing pink curtains obfuscating whatever was happening inside. You hear music, revelry, louder out of the handful of balconies that are just out of reach of the ground floor. The sign above the door has a silhouette of 2 lithe figures, genderless, inches from touching lips. The man at the door nods as you walk up to it.
Just walk up to him and say, we're not on the list, but we have many gifts.
He pauses for a moment, looking over each of you. Nods slowly. Head next door. You look back from the way that you came. This building seems abandoned. One window boarded up by the front door. There's a spot above where a sign used to be, probably hung there for many, many years, now seems gone. What do you do?
I look to Zana, and in her head she hears, "Do you want to go in with us, or do you want to stay out here?"
She responds back, "Wherever you need me."
Back in her head, probably be safe here if you're with us, but we might need people on the outside keeping watch.
She looks to you, Roz. You want me to stay out here and keep watch, or come in?
If I have to go in there, you do too. Let's go.
So heading up, the front door does seem to be unlocked. Once inside, you see that the bar isn't actually abandoned. There's a single man sitting at the old bar in the back, seems to be reading a book. You notice two more on opposite sides of what was once probably a dive bar, but is definitely seen much, much better days.
What is he reading?
You can't see from here.
Oh.
Beside one of the two men on either side as you walk in, you do see an old sign, probably the one that used to hang outdoors, old faded letters on it that read, "The Evening Nip." The bartender in the back closes the book, sets it down, kind of gives each of you a nod as you walk closer, and he reaches down and grabs a hatch from behind the bar and pulls it open and motions down.
I, without talking, just go down into the hatch.
All right. One by one, as each of you walk down, you see stairways that curve and descend down and to the left for about 40 feet. As you descend, it begins to slowly open up into a bright, stone-set subterranean tavern with a corridor in the far back curving off to the right. From floor to ceiling, the tavern is about 20 feet tall. There are two balconies that overlook this area, one on the left side, one around the corner on the right. Underneath this first balcony is a bar, the door that is currently open. Here's to lead off into a storeroom somewhere. Second door leads to a switchback staircase that leads up to the first balcony, which contains some tables, benches, and you also think you see maybe a weapon rack on the wall. You can tell by the wear and tear on the stone floor that the space has recently been renovated and expanded. Half the area on the left side of the room is recently carved out and opened up. But the paint job does a decent job at hiding the fact. Keen eyes can spot it anyhow. Tables and chairs are set around the perimeter of this secret tavern. It has a lively atmosphere and is filled with the sound of up to a dozen or so patrons laughing and clinking glasses at the table in the expanded section. Accompanying the rambunctious crowd is a slow and rhythmic music that seems to be permeating from the direction of a stairwell around the curve at the end of the space as it ascends up in the direction of where the nightly nip is. In the center of this space, on a large scarlet rug, there are three individuals. A human man, an elven man, and a tabaxi woman dancing together sensually in the middle. The bartender comes from out of the storeroom and gives you a hard stare. He's a Loxodon, with one eye closed and scarred over, with a wet cloth hanging from one of his tusks that he uses to clean a glass, and motions sort of in general at a few empty tavern seats that seem to be available. You're also taken a bit by surprise as you hear a stressed creaking sound behind you amid the rest of the sensory in the room, and when you turn to notice, you see that you have all walked by a large, older-looking ogre who was sitting right next to the stairs in the shadows. He shifts his frame on a load-bearing wall and gives you a look over, running his hand over the handle of a maul that is about half the size of Rosalind. What would you like to do?
I guess we'll go take a seat. And Roz is going to think to Kieran in her mind, this is the headquarters of Myriad.
As you go further in and find a seat sort of off to the side there, you also notice to the back right corner of this tavern is a well-carved, long, dark mahogany table. It's set further back into a space that's also raised a few feet off of the ground, so patrons must ascend a small set of stairs to reach it. It seems as though some kind of card game is currently being played up there. It's difficult to see exactly who's at the table. Anyone with a passive perception above 13?
That would be me.
I have that.
The 3 highly perceived people.
And Maeve as well. All right, so the 3 of you, it's a little bit difficult to see, but you do notice a high-back red velvet chair sitting at the end that definitely has a view on the entire tavern, despite you not being able to be up there.
Well, that sure is a fancy chair.
You watch as a small halfling comes out from behind the bar. A man. Messy mop of hair, has a patch over one of his eyes, and comes up and goes, folks look new. Welcome to the evening nip. Can I get you anything before you get down to whatever business it is you may or may not be here for? Maybe it's just entertainment. I don't know, but, not on me to decide. What do you want?
Whatever's strong.
All right, strong for the strong lady.
I'll have what she's having.
All right, strong for the old man.
I'll pass, thank you.
All right, pale lady passes.
I will
good,
have
too.
what I'll have what these two are having.
Oh,
And
you're a
emotions to
weird one, but all right, you got it. And are you in gliss form right now, Kieran?
Yeah.
Okay. And for you?
I'll just take an ale.
All right, you got it. And he walks off.
So we need to figure out this business, I suppose, then, to get them back to you.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I presume they're resting here.
This is a very silly question, I apologize, and maybe I missed this. Is there inn quarters in here? Like an inn? We don't know. Fair enough.
Not that you see.
Okay.
There are a few other sort of doors that lead off in different directions.
I say Maeve's mind. I could go find out.
Maybe not.
She'll think about that and say to Gliss, just hold for a second. Let's figure out exactly
It's
if anyone
maybe.
approaches us.
It's not
I-
a no.
I
So
know,
you're
I said it
saying
again.
there's a chance.
I never said there wouldn't be. Just gotta talk to me first. I can be really
I
chill when you talk to me.
Charles Xavier, you okay?
The halfling eventually comes back with like a long plank of wood, like a 2x4 almost, like on his shoulder, with the 4 drinks balancing on that. And comes, kind of picks it up and holds it so all the drinks just kind of slide off, sloshing a little bit, but slide onto the table. Well, okay, I guess if there's anything else you want that I can help with, drink-wise, let me know. But otherwise, if you have business, he points up towards where the raised mahogany table is. But otherwise, play nice. So, nobody gets stabbed or whatever. He
I
walks
guess
Sounds
let 'em
good.
come.
away
Thank you.
again.
Great. All right, well, I guess we head up to the mahogany table then.
Should we all of us head there?
Leo, it's your sister. Why don't you take care of this?
Yeah, Zana, you want to follow me up?
He nods.
2 can go. We'll stay back here.
You know the code word if you need us.
Code word.
Right. So,
While we walk there, can I do a perception check to see if I can possibly spot my sister just roaming around, or Triv maybe?
with
walking
your
around?
with your passive perception, you can easily see everyone who's in this space. While there is a lot going on, it is still fairly wide open, and you can see all of the tables in sort of the main area very easily. You don't spot her. So as you two head across sort of around the dance floor, you ascend the short stairs towards this section of the tavern that seems to be sort of like a VIP kind of vibe from it. And your attention is pulled straight to the head of the table. Your view kind of glazes past a few other patrons holding cards in their hands to a large man sitting in this red velvet chair. He's human, but his size hints at possibly some Goliath heritage, with muscles that are threatening to like tear out of his shirt as they push the seams. He has the head of dark tousled hair that obscures his vision when he glances down at his cards, but you do notice a scar under the left eye and a greatsword leaning in the corner behind him, about an arm's reach away. He's holding a cigarette in one hand and his cards in the other as he looks up towards you, which causes the attention of all the others to pivot in your direction as well.
Got room for 2 more?
There's kind of a bit of a grunt from him, and there's some murmuring between the rest of them. It's hard for you to pick up exactly what it is you're saying. You do recognize some of the phrases as thieves' cant. But with them whispering the way that they are, it's not enough to discern what they're actually saying. At this point, you hear a new voice that cuts through. I heard we have some new friends tonight. It's fierce, alluring. It cuts through the ambience of that tavern, along with a rise in the club music above as the door opens at the top of the stairs in the back of the tavern. Perfectly visible from where you're currently standing, as well to the rest of the party and the majority of the tavern. At the top of these stairs, descending with one leg sweeping in front of the other, as her hips sway back and forth, you see an older tiefling woman. She has skin the color of wet ash, smooth, straight dark hair that is so long it almost catches the edge of the steps behind her as she makes her way down. Her horns curve upward into large points behind her head, and her bright yellow, pupilless eyes seem to lock onto you. Each of you, one at a time. She smirks slightly, but even without it, you see 2 large canines dripping out from the corners of her mouth. She's wearing a black leather dress that clings to her sultry form and covers her from just under the knee to high on her neck, but leaving her shoulders and arms free. As she completes her descent, she emits an aura of pure aggression and presence. And with each step that she takes, you can sense her quickly taking stock and seeing through each and every one of you. As she ascends the steps behind, she puts her hand on your shoulder, Leo, and kind of pushes you to the side. She walks past you, nears the front of the table, and as she does, the man in the red velvet chair rises up and pulls it out for her. She reaches behind, gathering up her hair around her wrist and sitting down, crossing one leg over the other. The man gingerly takes her hair from her hand and lays it across her shoulder and over the arm of the chair. If you're here to gain an audience with the gentleman, you found her. State your names and business and be concise. My patience is money few can afford to waste.
Leonidas Woodsmile, and I am looking for my sister, Helsna Woodsmile, and her friend, Triv.
She smiles, her eyes going wide with excitement as she kind of takes a look over you again and goes, I thought that I recognized you. It's been a few years, decades even, since I've got to lay my eyes upon a Woodsmile, but indeed. She calls across the bar. Gallant, show this gentleman to Helsna and Triv, please. And the Loxodon kind of nods and walks out from behind the bar and motions for you to follow if you want.
I will bow gracefully to her and then make my way
I
down
may
to
have
Loxodon.
some more of my time to give you once you are done in there, so come and talk to me again afterwards, but for the remainder of the night, you and your friends are free to enjoy the pleasantries of the house.
Much appreciated. Thank you.
Do we see them talk? I'm guessing we can't hear them, but do we
You
see
can.
this?
Oh no, she
We
is
can, yeah.
talking loud enough that
Oh.
everyone hears what's going on, and you've definitely noticed that the rambunctious revelry down
Uh-huh.
here died down at her presence as well.
I
When the
see.
gentleman speaks, people listen.
Maybe we'll definitely think to Gliss. Let's lie low. We're in very unknown territory and we don't want to piss these people off.
This was not paying
Zana
attention.
asks you, Leo, what do you want me to do?
Follow me. And I will follow the Loxodon into seeing if they've killed my sister.
So, you follow them back through a pretty dark hallway. You had noticed that there was definitely a pathway, but the light cuts off so quickly that it wouldn't have been one that you would assume was often traveled or often used here in this space. So you follow him back past a few doors. There's candlelight a bit further back, and he gets to one and just kind of grunts and goes, "In here." Did you say you wanted Zana to come with you?
Yep.
Okay. Zana just kind of looks at you and is like, "I'll wait here." And the Loxodon is already making it their way back out toward the bar.
I'll open the door.
So as you open the door, it's a very, very small room. Looks like it was maybe even a storage room of some kind. There's some boxes, some crates, and barrels in here. But you are immediately greeted by your sister, who is currently sitting on a small stool next to a cot. She turns, surprised to see you, and immediately jumps up, runs towards you, and wraps her arms around you.
I'll give her a big hug, too.
As she squeezes, there is urgency in it, and you can now see that in the cot, covered up with a blanket, you can see Triv, who is unconscious, sleeping, you're not sure. Her face is bruised, but not too swollen. A lot of the face is obscured by shadows. There's a single sort of candle flickering in here. But after a long few seconds, Halesna kind of pulls back and goes, "You got my letter? I
Yeah.
assume you're here. You could have came faster."
It's been a long journey. I'm sorry.
It's okay. She's, she motions back towards Triv. She'll make it. She's fine. She's past the worst of it. But it might still be a few more days before she can travel.
What happened?
I don't know a lot of it. Ophelia wouldn't, or the gentleman. I never know. I don't know what to. Miss Mardoon wouldn't tell me a lot. But Triv was doing some work for her, and I guess ran into trouble. And they found her like this.
How did you get the mark on your face?
No, sorry, Triv has the mark.
Well, I thought it was Halesna.
No,
Halesna's fine.
Halesna's fine, yes.
Well, I pull out the 300 gold that I had from her safe, and I'm like, "You forgot something."
I didn't really have time to grab it. They came when I was home and I had to slip out the back, it wasn't a lot of time to run. You might as well keep that, though. They're taking care of us here, and Triv's been paid for the work she was able to do. So it's fine.
Okay. Well, the gentleman might have a job for my group, so
I assume
I
it's
don't know
probably the same one that Triv was given.
Do you have any details on that job, or
No, I just
no?
came here, asked around, pretty stupidly, probably. I don't have your or Triv's street smarts, grace, whatever you want to call it. But eventually they found me, and everything's fine. We're gonna be okay. I mean, I don't know. Are we? Why is the Rexentrum myriad after you?
Because Rosalind, the big one in my group, pushed drugs into the harbor like a dumbass.
Why?
Because she's from another world and doesn't understand the seedy part of this world like you.
Do they not
me,
have
Triv
drugs in
do.
her world?
I have no clue.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Everyone's safe now. Right? We're gonna be safe now?
Yeah, and when you guys get back to Rexentrum, the Cerberus Assembly gave us a place to stay, so that should be a little bit better protected.
What?
How
How did you just say? No, I heard what you said. I don't understand how you just said that so casually. The Cerberus Assembly gave us a house?
My group and us, yes, gave us a place to stay because we brought back an artifact from the mountain area that's worth a lot of gold.
Okay, sure. That because that's what you do now. You work with the Cerberus Assembly. Okay, I was gonna suggest we stay here because of the protection of the gentleman, but the Cerberus Assembly. So yes, all right, cool. We'll go back home to our Cerberus Assembly house. Are you serious? This isn't. You're not. You're serious?
Stone cold, like just shaking my head. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Do we still have to walk back, or are we going to be, magically transported via flying airship as well? Or is that not on the current employment plan?
I could see if Zana has another charge of her teleportation spell to get you back, but it might be horse and buggy.
I mean, if that's possible, that would definitely be great. She turns back towards Triv. I would much rather her not have to worry about taking the road, but...
And I think our debts with the Myriad have been kind of solved. That's what took us a long time to get here. We got ambushed.
Okay. Everyone's fine?
I almost died, and...
She slaps you. When I ask you if you're fine, and you're fine right now, you can just say, yes, everyone's fine. I have been put through enough with Triv.
I know, I'm just trying to be truthful to everybody.
Well, now is not the time. Hide some truth from me. Tell me later. I'll get mad again, but I've had enough right now, all right? And
now, if you guys
hugs you again.
I'll give her a big hug again, too. Now, if you can hold out until I can figure out what the gentleman wants from us, I can find a way for you guys to get back.
While this is going on, those of you out in the bar.
Yeah.
What is it that you are doing or would like to do?
Roz is just watching everything very carefully with a hand resting on her sword.
The atmosphere here has started to liven up a bit more. The card game has restarted. People are starting to kind of talk, and it's a bit more lively. It's not as rambunctious as it was, but you can feel the presence of the gentleman.
Well, I'll
In
bet these people tried to murder us.
I would like everyone at the table to make a wisdom save.
At everyone at the table, you get +4. Oh, no, you don't. My paladin powers are currently not working. Never mind.
Damn it!
Sorry.
You and your character imposed restriction.
Oh, the things we do for roleplay.
I got an 11.
Ooh, I got 14. That was an insp.
20. Twice.
Right. Gliss, Rosalind, and Maeve. What you experienced is this sensation is difficult to describe. So
I'm really, really sorry. Is it a charm spell?
it is not a charm spell, no.
Okay, thank you.
So the way that I'm going to try to impart this on you is how it might be displayed in a movie to the audience. Okay? You're sitting here, Rosalind. You are on edge. You have your hand on the hilt of your sword.
Yep.
Maeve and Gliss, describe to me what you're feeling, what you're doing right now.
I actually would think Maeve would be a little overstimulated.
Overstimulated?
A little bit, yeah.
Gliss?
Lots of keeping like a cool exterior, but
Doing your best
she's
Zana
like
impression.
a little bit, yeah, but she's like a little bit upset about how the intervention went earlier and is feeling a little bad about how Zana might be feeling right now.
Okay. So as each of you are taking this moment, there is a flash in your mind, and you just see the gentleman up there in her throne staring directly at you, and then for a moment the hair stands up on the back of your neck as it feels like she's right there next to you. Her breath inches from your ear, but only for a split second.
Place of giving. Not
Mm. Roz has, by the way, Roz has not touched her drink.
Fair enough.
I don't
I
know.
say to Maeve in her head, I feel weird.
She'll nod and think back to you. Me too. We're gonna stay together here. I think it's safer if we stay together.
Yeah, but not like social anxiety weird, like the gentleman.
Feel like she's staring at you.
Mm-hmm.
The
And I
game's
was just
over, boys. Clear out. I want some new guests. And you watch as all those playing cards slowly begin to push their chairs up and stand up and walk down. And you see that big man who was up there before kind of walks over to the edge and points over at your group. And just kind of does like a come hither sort of beckon with his fingers. You've been invited.
Well, let's not be rude, guys.
Yeah,
Very well.
sure.
Liz says, what's the game?
Who are you saying that to?
I think you
To
said
the
it
guy who called her.
Oh,
out loud.
okay.
No.
Oh.
Sorry,
he,
yeah.
He doesn't respond to you. He just goes back and stands up off her right shoulder behind her.
All right, Roz gets up from the booth and starts making her way over.
Maeve will get up, but we'll put a hand on Gliss's back as if to kind of say, we'll figure this out. Just stay close.
I'll go with them.
All right. So you head up. You take seats. If you don't, let me know if you want to be particularly difficult here.
No, she'll sit.
Is everybody going up or just the three of us?
No, I'm going.
You're going? Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
like I
Leaf
went as soon
well.
as I said, "Let's not be rude."
Yep,
Got it.
Everyone.
I thought
legitimately
you
thought
said
you said,
let's
let's
be
be
rude."
rude.
I said, "Let's
I was
not
like,
be
yeah,
rude."
Hermia's like, it's bad bitch Hermia time.
No,
This is the
no.
time.
I hate that Gliss and I heard the same thing. We're like, all right.
No, that's not.
I
I
was like-
said, "Let's not be rude."
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah, we
so
all
you
go
all head up and sit down, and she has a wide smile across her face, which prominently displays the canine-like fangs. So, you must be the second chances that I've heard so much about.
About?
Quite a bit.
Didn't re-
A bit more in the past day or so than previously. Rumor is that you stopped a political assassination up in Baisei Tile. There
We
was
did.
something else that seems to be escaping my memory, and she turns towards you, Gliss. What was the other one that was making the rounds yesterday?
I look at Gliss.
What did you do?
I had nothing to do with anything.
We
Come, speak quickly, louder, so all can hear. There's no need to tiptoe around it. What's done is done.
The player doesn't remember what we've done now all of a sudden.
Well,
You
she's
know, and, like,
asking
someone's
you
like,
because
"What's
the
your favorite
DM doesn't
movie?" I don't
remember
know.
either, okay? You didn't have time
We
to
also
prepare this.
dove into Chattengrod.
Yeah, we helped in
Yeah.
Rexentrum.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
I don't know which one you would have said.
I
out
had
loud.
some cheesy sticks.
That was impressive.
Yep, there was that.
Yeah,
They're pretty
I'll just
good.
say, I do.
The frogs. It was the
hesitate.
demonic. It was the demonic frog one.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, as you kind of hesitate a little bit, demon frogs in Odessalo, was it?
Roz's like, oh yeah.
I will think
Mhm.
towards Gliss. Have you talked to the gentleman already?
And I say in my head, no, I don't think so. But outside, I just say, yeah. And of course, there was the first time when we met, and we saved what, a member of the Cerberus Assembly from certain death.
No, I didn't think we did that.
I'm lying. Straight up.
No, you didn't. The actor that she was supposed to be in place of died instead. So had it
Yeah,
been
no one
Lady
got saved.
Astrid Beck, you would not have done so. But
Ma'am, you have us at a disadvantage. It seems
I
you know more
know
about
it's
this
the
than-
way that I do business.
Yeah. So,
No,
But,
what you were on my radar for prior to that, due to your business in Odessalo, put you on the radar of the drowned prince, who I myself am not a big fan of either.
Who's that?
Who's that?
You're not familiar? Making trouble for people you don't even know?
In
I
fairness,
did
I'm not
make
familiar
trouble
with hardly
for
anything.
anyone.
So
Dangerous game. The drowned prince is the one who runs the Myriad cell located in Rexentrum.
Oh, that's the thing you guys wouldn't tell me about when
We
I
did
was like
tell you
eating the
about it.
cheesy sticks.
we did tell you about it later.
Well, you didn't tell me exactly why you did whatever.
There was a lot going on.
is this what Leo meant when he talked about how the Myriad was like not all one group?
Yes.
Got it.
The Myriad, once upon a time, was more cohesive, was led by a council of elders out of Eurosa, but this was 50, 60 years ago when the Empire came down hard on them. It fractured the organization, and leadership from place to place has shifted, and struggles of power are always a delicate thing, but no one has been able to bring it all back under wraps in quite the same way. We all have our own missions and motives.
Your own little kingdoms.
Indeed. And mine is here in Zadash. You're friends with Misfortune Finder. Yes?
Roz noticeably stiffens, but doesn't say anything.
We do have a connection.
Yeah.
Well, since you're here, and if your only reason for showing up was to collect Helesna and Triv, that's fine. But I think I'd like to offer you an opportunity that could put both of us into a more advantageous position in the eyes of my organization, both here and throughout the rest of Wildemount.
And what sort of mission?
There's a quarry nearby. I'm sure you passed it on your way from Rex and Trim. The Eglin Quarry. There's an abandoned mine shaft there that I use for storage. I had a particularly capable friend by the name of Elra Starsong who oversaw it for me. She went missing. I've sent a few people since then to check on it, and none of them returned, so that's when I reached out to the Adrian Adventurers Guild and hired Miss Triv to try and find Elra for me. Figured that whether or not she turned, or if she was kidnapped or killed, that Triv would be able to narrow down those possibilities for me. Well, about a week ago, Triv showed up here at the Evening Nip on Death's Door. We looked into it, and while following some leads, she ran into some of the drowned prince's men. He was ambushed. Something that they'll never get the chance to do again. That woman has the drive and ferocity of a direwolf based on what was described to me of the scene. Miracle she survived, though. I would like you to pick up where she left off, but it'll be a bit more simple than that. I've given up on finding where Elra went. I believe that the drowned prince is trying to encroach on my territory here in Zadash. I wanted to move some of my business, some of the family business, from Shady Creek Run through Rex and Trim. It's quicker and cheaper than going the long way through the Marrow Valley, but the prince wanted too big of a cut to make it worthwhile. And since then, we have been having difficulties more often than before, and now one of my main storehouses is suddenly being affected. Now, I can't outright claim foul play, so I need to make a move that puts me on top of the prince.
Roz is gonna
under me.
Roz is gonna stand up from the table at that point and be like, I've heard about what the business out of Shady Creek Run is. No.
There are several different businesses that run out of Shady Creek, but with you traveling with a wood smile, I wouldn't have thought that you would have much to oppose.
It's not like that anymore.
I'm aware. He obviously doesn't remember, but he's worked for me a few times. Shady Creek Run is what's a way to put it delicately? A shithole. I got out of there about 15, 20 years ago because as much as the families wanted to turn it into a respectable place that the Empire would see fit to stop meddling in that business, it wasn't happening anytime soon. You're talking about the trade. I don't deal in that. My family never has.
Still feels like smack dab in the middle of just myriad politics upon politics.
Oh, it absolutely is. But if you work with me, you won't have to worry about the drowned prince and his goons coming after you anymore.
Who's worried?
Not me.
So,
Leo. I'm going to pop back over to Leo here really quick for a second. So as you're kind of beginning to wrap things up with your sister, there is some movement on the cot. And Triv kind of rolls over, goes, "You shut the fuck up. I'm trying to sleep."
Sorry.
What took you so long, old man? Hip give out halfway here?
No, I was trapped underneath Schattengrad for a little while, and then when I got back to the house, it was ransacked, and I tried to get down here as fast as possible.
Could have been faster. I make that travel in 4 days.
We were gonna make it in 3, but we got ambushed.
Oh, you're still babysitting the kids. That is
Yep.
not a 3-day travel with a group. Stop kidding yourself.
I was trying to go throughout the night, but they wanted to rest.
Get one of your big Cerberus assembly people just teleport you here.
That's a bigger ask than I can ask right now.
But they gave you a house, and she begins to laugh, but you can tell she's in a lot of pain. All right, fine. Do me a favor then. Hell, can you wait out in the hallway? She kind of looks back and forth between the two of you and then steps out and closes the door.
Zana's out there. She'll protect you.
Leo, come here.
I get down to the cot and wait for her to stab me.
Please bring me a fucking whiskey. She won't let me drink anything.
See what I can do. It's gonna be kind of hard to sneak it past her. But
I know you're
I
not that
pull
great.
out my flask.
Oh, yep, she takes it, and you watch as she basically downs the whole thing.
That'll hold you over.
For now, you're not as useless as you usually are.
Try not to be as useless as I am always. What's this job that you were on?
She had me looking into some missing person. Pretty sure that the drowned prince from Exandria is trying to move in on her business here in Zadash. The lady she wanted me to find, she's dead. Didn't find any proof, but following it almost got me dead. But don't worry, I sent a message of my own, and at least those 5 guys aren't going to be doing it to anybody else anytime soon.
That's good. Do you remember any other names?
You can see now as she's talking to you, as she kind of turns every now and then, in the flicker of the light, one of her eyes is clouded over. There's a deep scar. It's on the same side that the sort of crescent shape is on her forehead, and there's a deeper scar now running down her temple towards her cheek. And that eye seems to be clouded over, and you can tell that it's probably blind.
We might need to get you a partner.
Why? Because I took on 5 thugs by myself and survived?
No. You just need somebody watching your back.
I'm fine.
So this job that you were on, I'm pretty sure is what the gentleman is probably going to have my group do next. Might be a way to pay for the debts we've racked up with having Helesna down here.
That's fine. I didn't technically finish the job, but Miss Mardoon has still compensated me very well. You don't have to worry about any debts. If she does ask you, it's not going to be the same thing. She has the information that she needs. So just do whatever you think is good for you and saving the world or whatever it is you're trying to do now.
I get it's complicated every day. I'll see what she wants. If you can tough it out for a couple more days, I'll get you guys a horse and buggy to get you back up into Rexentrum.
I'm fine. And she just kind of lays back down, and you can tell within a few seconds that she's already out again.
I just put my hand on her shoulder and kind of squeeze a little bit and get up and head out.
Yep. And as you open the door, Helesna goes, if you bring her any booze, I swear to God, not until she's better.
I won't.
She heads back in and sits down.
To be fair, I won't is not the same as I didn't.
It's true.
It is true. All right, so you and Zana head back out and notice the rest of your group is now up at the table with the gentleman.
Should we join them?
She nods, and you go ahead and take a seat.
Just in time.
Thanks for joining us. It seems we have the whole crew here now.
Sorry for the delay.
It's fine. I was just offering the second chances here an opportunity. You may not be worried about it, but you would be smart to get off the drowned prince's radar, and you can do so by getting under me as well, metaphorically speaking. But I understand you're the hero types, and not all of your business is not all of our business is your business, and that's fine. I have a need for a variety of tools, including law-abiding ones. The job is for you to go to my former storehouse in the quarry, gather what evidence you can that the prince is involved, if any, and then destroy the storehouse in as spectacular of a fashion as possible. And if it is of any added significance, there are plenty of drugs and weapons in there that will burn along with it, she says, looking at you, Roz. Those goods are already lost
No
to me.
trafficking people.
Leo. You know, you've worked for me a few times. And
I know.
it takes you a minute before you realize that the person you're talking to, because she hasn't said her name yet, is Ophelia Mardoon, which is one of the 4 major families in Shady Creek Run. They were one of 2 that were not interested in the slave trade. There was another that was a bit more flexible in some regards, depending on the deal. But the Mardoons had like a no trade policy. And though you've never met her personally, you did work with her family on a few occasions when you needed to have something go wrong so that you could convince your crew that the trade wasn't a smart business decision for them.
I just look over to Roz. It's like, she's better than most in Shady Creek Run.
Still
She's
bad,
helped me out.
though.
Yeah. Roz does not look pleased to be sitting at this table.
I'm not sure if we're going to be making a consensus right this moment.
Why not? Put it to a vote.
Well, before you vote, allow me to finish laying out the benefits that you would get. Obviously, yes, you could leave now. We never see each other. Never hear of each other again. Well, she looks to Gliss. I'll probably hear some things. But as far as you're concerned, I don't exist anymore. But I feel like going and blowing things up is something that you hero types are usually good at, and the goods in that storehouse are already lost to me, even if I could wrest it back. I still look weak for letting it get taken. So I'd rather blow it all up and watch the prince squirm at the failings of his men. I'll also be able to track the consequences of that if it's indeed true, and this will help you twofold. I will spread word of you heroes destroying a drug den or weapons cache belonging to criminals, earning you favor with the public. And if the prince tries to retaliate against you for messing with his business, it's all but admitting he did so, which would risk open war between ourselves within the Myriad, and the elders would not look kindly upon that. And the prince isn't stupid. I'll also make it very clear to his side of the organization this was an intentional move by me, which means you'd all be under my protection. And if he moves on you, same result. And it'll remind him of the cardinal rule of being in business with me. Don't fuck with Ophelia Ardoon.
And now Roz is convinced.
And, of
Hold the Ariel
course, we can always talk monetary compensation as well.
I think the other good thing about this, Roz, is we don't have very many connections to the underworld, and it would be kind of nice to have some connections to it. To understand maybe if there's great change coming.
Fine.
So we have
What
a
about
deal.
you, Maeve?
I'm sorry?
I said, what about you, Maeve?
I think it is potential for safety. I do worry of the further being used as a tool, I suppose. But I can see that it is potentially, yes. I am willing
okay.
to. I am willing to put the next.
Her eyes narrow, Maeve, as you speak, as though she's studying you. You know, the gentleman is a title that I inherited from the previous man who sat in this very chair. In this very tavern under the shithole that resides above us. He did so due to secrecy. The Empire knew where he was, the Crown's Guard and the Righteous Brand would have came down upon him. But when I took over and moved in here, well, I have a different standard of living that I'm used to, and I erected the Nightly Nip. Up those stairs there. Everyone knows where I am. And you know why the Crown's Guard and the Righteous Brand do not come down on top of me?
Why?
Because I treat my friends well. I do good for this city and those within it. Crime is a necessity. Cannot get rid of it. So it's better to work with the devil you know. I'm not going to use you as tools. If I offer you a job, it will be of benefit to both of us. And when you deliver, I pay you, then our business is concluded. And if we want to continue afterwards, then that is another discussion. You don't do good business by burning every bridge you build.
It is true. Well, certainly makes a good argument. Kind of look between Roz. I am not the only one here who gets a say. I will actually think to Roz through mind stuff. Obviously, I'm not telling you to think one way or another, but in some ways I think she might need us. But at the same time, Drowned Prince is, well, he could go down a peg.
She doesn't understand.
Okay.
Well, despite the apprehension of my paladin friend here, I think it would be in our best interest to take you up on that offer.
Are there any other thoughts on the table?
If you have any questions, now is the time to ask them.
It's on the. You mentioned gold. What else would there be?
What is it you would like?
Information.
In place of the gold?
In addition to. And I look to the group and I say, I'll forego my part.
Information can sometimes be more valuable than coin.
I don't want her money. I'll take information.
Seems there'll be some other deals to be made.
Information it is then?
I think that's fine.
Perfectly fine with me.
What are you looking for then?
And sorry, someone else can go. I have to read through my notes.
Okay. Do you have information you were looking for, Roz?
I mean, she's looking for places of great change. That's all she cares about.
Okay. And I'll tell her that I'm looking for someone. I'll mention my description.
Description of...
Lashandra,
which she looks like.
of your sister. Gotcha.
Sorry. Oh, I didn't realize you didn't hear that part. Sorry.
All right. And she looks over her shoulder towards the man behind her, and he just kind of like nods. Anything else?
I think our friend here is gathering her thoughts for a moment.
Our automaton's looking for someone named Dr. Fernelius.
I can look into a Dr. Fernelius for you.
So some say that there's something brewing in the east. If one were to want to unravel that thread, that'd be a good piece of information as far as...
Do you mean the Morrow
Knowing where to
Valley
start.
or across the Ashkeeper Peaks?
across the peaks.
Very well. Did you give her Lashandra's name as well?
I'm trying to decide. I guess I will say Lashandra's name, but I will warn her that she may be going under another name. Gwenlaw and to make sure to confirm what she'd be alone, not with a group. That's what I will say.
Very well. Lashandra, Dr. Fernelius, and word from the wastes of Jorhas.
And some information for you. Have you heard of the Plague of Eyes?
The name has crossed the ears of my birds, yes.
Have you seen people with eyes on their body where they shouldn't be?
I have not.
Well, we have.
I'd be on the lookout for that, because the Plague of Eyes is out of his tomb from Shattengrad.
I'll take that under advisement. The rumors of the plague that I have been hearing have been coming out of the Menagerie Coast, but hasn't been of much interest to me, but I will keep my ear to the ground.
Great. Roz is going to stand up from the table as if, may I be excused.
By all means. Hold on. It's disappeared.
No.
Gotta improvise.
Well, I suppose with all the business out of your way, please enjoy as much of your night here or above in the club if you'd like. You're my guests now. And she looks to you, Theo.
Yes.
You know, I knew of your parents as well. They even worked for me a few times for non-trade business. They were, for all their faults, decent folks by Shady Creek standard. They hated what they did, but saw no way out of it or didn't want to see. I helped them a few times to make a few shipments go free, but a little good when you're that bad doesn't go very far. In the end, you reap what you sow in this world and sometimes in the next. Enjoy the rest of your night. And she stands up and walks by each of you, heads up into the club.
Rosalind wants a shower.
What is it?
You are muted, Mia.
I'm not muted. You hear me?
Now
I
we
hear
can,
you.
yes. Sorry, did you want to ask her
Oh,
something
thank you.
before she left?
She wanted
Uh,
to insight her, I think.
Yeah, what did my insight?
Oh, right. Yes, your insight. Sorry. What'd you roll?
14.
14.
So, for when she was having her, or giving her little spiel about, building bridges and treating people like friends, not like tools, etc., she's difficult to read. I would say that you don't know if it was a speech or not to, make you all amenable to her wishes. Very easily could have been, but you also didn't necessarily detect any sort of malice or deceit in it. It's very hard to get a read on her. A lot of her presence is just very imposing and just very aggressive.
Were we playing cards during all of this conversation?
You were not.
Please tell me Leaf was just playing solitaire, though.
If Leaf was just over
That would
there
make my
playing
day.
cards like he thought, yes, I am winning the game. Cool.
I love it.
Leaf.
What?
Make an investigation check.
Are you sure it's not perception?
Go-
I know.
Sure,
that's
sure.
what
Go
I read.
ahead. Do perception.
No. You said investigation.
No. Investigation or perception. It's your choice.
All right, well, investigation, I got an 11. Perception would be a 21. Your choice.
21 is about what you needed.
Okay.
As you are looking through these cards and playing with yourself, go ahead and roll a d4 for me. Going through them, you pick up one of the cards and realize that this isn't a normal playing card as far as you are aware. It seems to have an illustration drawn on it. It is a young human man in a blue coat with spectacles and white hair. You recognize the illustration style as the same from the card that you bought off of CG. And notice that this
Question.
is a Percival DeRollo trading card from the Heroes of Exandria.
Question.
Mhm.
Would I remember that I bought a card from CG?
Oh, sorry, you're right. You make a wisdom check.
Okay.
Don't throw.
Can I give myself disadvantage?
Stop trying to make yourself bad.
I clicked it. Roll. I'll click it again. Don't make me. Oh, 17.
You kind of stare at it for a moment, thinking, that's weird. This doesn't look like all the other ones. And you're about to just toss it away when suddenly you remember buying the Keyleth card from CG in that tavern just after Kieran, your best friend, had bought another card. And you remember gifting her that card and remembering that Kieran the card likes cards.
Best friend Kieran the card likes cards.
Do you say that out loud?
No, of course not. That was just a process running
Yep.
in my head.
So you
okay.
have
Can
a
I?
Percival DeRollo card.
Oh, can I try to sleight of hand it into my metal sleeve?
Sure. You can also just take it.
Oh,
No,
okay.
no one's gonna stop
Okay,
you.
yeah.
Well, it's not my card, so I'm stealing it. Yes, Percy DeRollo card.
So with that,
Oh,
the
where's Percy?
night seems to be yours. Second chances. What would you like to do?
Are we staying here or are we returning to quiet pastures?
Yeah, Roz is leaving. She doesn't want to be in here anymore.
Okay.
Callie, don't
Leo-
act like you didn't love all of that.
I'm in character. I'm sure I'll love it tomorrow.
I secretly asked her, I was like, too dangerous for you? She always talks about liking dangerous women.
Let
I'll-
me go say bye to Lesna, and I'll meet you guys upstairs.
I'm sure, unless someone wants to go with, Roz, maybe if you want to, Zana, otherwise I'll wait for you here with the rest of us.
I think you'll be fine. Roz, knowing that Triv is injured, you didn't want to go take a look?
Wants to go upstairs and not be in here anymore.
All right. Yeah, you go back in and check in with Lesna.
We're gonna head out.
Yeah, unless there's anything specific you wanted to say, it's pretty
Yeah,
easy.
that's it.
Yeah, Triv is still out, and she's doing fine and is being well taken care of here. So, all right.
Um,
So with that, y'all heading back to the Coral Jug.
I think so, yeah.
Yep.
So you head back to the Coral Jug. It's not too late now. You weren't in there for too long. So it's probably 8, 9-ish. So the Coral Jug is a bit busier than it was before, but being a little bit on the lower end, kind of on the border of the outer steads and the intersted sprawl. There are definitely more upscale places to get a lot more business. But as you walk in, you see that Gracie is pretty busy helping out a few people. There's also a halfling and a human in the fight pit that are currently like wrestling with one another, and like the human has, or the halfling has the human in a headlock, which is really comical because like twice his size, and people are kind of cheering, and like you see them like betting
Oh, yeah.
some copper and silver back and forth, and the human's like really struggling and looks really embarrassed.
I love this. I love this strong halfling man.
But
favorite.
the night is yours. What would you like to do?
I'm going to grab Rosalind by the hand. I'm going to drag her over to the pit, and I'm going to throw a couple coins in. We're up next.
You've got to be kidding me.
Okay. All right, the halfling seeing that goes, all right, give me a second, I'll finish it up. And you watch as he, like, tightens his grip, and the human's like, no. And, like, his face just goes limp as he passes out. All right. And he walks up. He's like, come on, pay it up now. And collects, like, all of the gold, basically. And then the human's friends go down and, like, picks him up and, like, pull him out.
Roz just looks so disappointed in this person. That's rough, buddy.
All right. So, Roz and Leo.
What are we doing, Leo?
We're going to get some of your aggression out.
My aggression. Yeah.
Take all those feelings that you have against the gentleman, give them to me.
I'm not angry about this, Leo. I'd like to think I didn't come to this world to help criminals get stronger.
That may be true, but it's always nice to have friends in places that you can't have friends.
Yeah.
And I will... Like, are we fist fighting, or do you want to fucking go sword and a knife?
It's a wrestling. Like
They don't allow weapons.
Bullshit.
So,
You gotta go outside for
yeah,
that.
Leo tosses his dagger down. Yeah, you could probably keep your leather armor on if you wanted, but Roz should probably take off her plate mail?
Blint.
Flint.
Yeah, Roz takes her armor off.
All right. Well, in that case, wrestling match it is. Why don't you both make... Start with an athletics check from the two of you. Opposed athletics.
Oh, this looks... Sweet. Just... Good.
God damn it. So natural 20 minus 1.
Why is that a god damn it?
Because that's a -1 to my strength.
16 plus 6.
22.
Okay. All right, so Rosalind, he's old. He's not frail, but he's older, and you're just like, all right, seriously, come on. I've put up with my Uncle Levix, who is like 3 times the man that Leo is. I got this. But he's spry for an old man. So you were 16 plus what, Rosalind? 16
plus 6.
Plus 6?
22.
You got the
22
2
versus
from.
19.
What?
Where does the 2 come from?
Athletics.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking that was your strength score. I'm like, you have a 22 in strength?
No, she's trained.
No.
Got
She's
it.
trained in athletics.
Yep. So the natural 20 helps you, Leo, but Roz is strong. So as she goes in for what she thinks is going to be an easy takedown, the two of you like lock up, and well, you are stronger than him, Roz. He surprisingly is able to sort of maneuver and use your strength and momentum in a way that gets the two of you sort of twisting and turning. And it's a little bit more difficult to take him down than you anticipated.
Leo, you see, in times like this in the past, Roz has done something where it really helps her with strength, athletics, anything of that nature, her channel divinity. You see her try to do this again, and nothing happens. She rolls her eyes.
You may now choose between athletics or acrobatics for this next check.
For acrobatics, I'm gonna try to do like a leg twist, like take her down.
Yep, she'll do athletics. 7. 1 plus 6.
16 plus 5, 21.
So, Roz, you think, all right, Oz got his number now. He's locked. We're locked in. We're touching each other right now. He can't get away from this. and you go to put him into a bear hug to just squeeze, and he drops down, locking his legs onto you, using your momentum, and tripping you down onto the ground before he pops back up.
Mm-hmm.
You hit the ground hard. Sand and what you think is probably halfling sweat smushed up into your face and mouth.
She looks back up. Are you satisfied?
No, because you're not.
No. She back up feet.
All right. Athletics, acrobatics. Roz, if you want, you can do an attack as well.
No, she'll athletics again. That's fine.
Okay.
Leaf is
Fucking
going.
A. Okay. 9.
Total?
3 plus 6.
Oh, honey.
Leaf is going to just kind of be watching and reading its star map, and note that there is a pretty bad cosmic open coming into Leo's next check.
The wheel. The wheel ability.
No, it's the woe ability. And,
Whoa, sorry.
And
You gonna give him disadvantage on it?
he gets a D6 subtracted from his roll.
Okay, so roll your D20, add whatever.
I rolled a 3 plus 5, so I was already at 8.
So
Okay.
-5 on this one.
And minus 3, so I got a 5 total.
Okay.
This is mud wrestling now.
Yep. So, Rosalind, you go at him, getting ready to lock in, and you notice he kind of has a bit of a tell the way that he faints, and you're able to sort of fake him out, grab him this time as he's trying to use your momentum against you. You grab him by both the shoulders and basically just like an adult just pushing a child onto the ground, you just shove him down into the dirt.
Wow. She hops up out of the pit. I'm good.
Are you? Really? And I get up and didn't see you use any magic there.
Stops at that. No. Turns around. I haven't seen a need to.
I grab her by her ankles and I yank her back in.
Damn.
Roz, make a ankles, I'd say dexterity check or dexterity save.
Sick. 1.
Yeah, he catches you by surprise, and literally as he pulls
No,
you.
I rolled a 12.
Oh, okay. I thought you rolled a 1. I'm like, oh
No,
man.
she has a +1 to dex
Okay, all right, fair
right
enough.
now.
So it's not as bad as it was gonna be, but he does kind of like pull you back down into the pit, and you land on your ass in the sand.
Oh.
We're not done yet.
As you stand up, Roz, you get some flashes of your Aunt Sin. You may both roll. You can use athletics, acrobatics, or Rosalind, you can take a swing if you want.
Yeah, she's gonna try to punch his fucking lights out.
Go ahead and make an attack roll with advantage.
I can't. Is it when it's unarmed? It's just plus your strength, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
All right,
You
so
don't get to
19 to hit then.
It actually hits.
All right. So
Put
as
some smite into it.
Yeah, so Leo, as you step in to perform whatever maneuver you have planned, Roz doesn't even move. She just plants her fist right in your face. Roll damage, Roz.
I think for
It's just
maybe
one.
It's
I think
just
it's just
3 damage.
Or three.
One plus your strength mod.
1 plus strength, so 4 damage. Yeah.
All right, so 4 damage as she connects squarely with your nose.
That's all you got?
Now she is gonna push him up against the wall and just start unloading.
All right, do your full attacks. It's your turn.
Gliss, close
So the
your
first
eyes.
one's a nat 20,
Oh, jeez.
and the second one is a 16.
16 misses.
So
last
with the nat 20, let me ask you this, Roz. Obviously, it's just a friendly sparring pit, but some of your Aunt Sin is coming out.
Yeah.
Are you holding back?
No, she's trying to hurt him.
Okay. The 16 does hit because when the crit hits you as she gives you a mean left hook, anyone, I would say Leaf and Maeve, with your passive perception,
Yeah.
watch as Leo's eyes just kind of roll up into the back of his head as he is knocked unconscious from that punch, and then she puts another punch into his gut as he just slumps down onto the ground.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
Leaf
unless
is
someone
going...
stop- if
Almost
someone
a-
doesn't stop her, she will keep going.
I will.
No,
If she's
Leaf-
gonna keep going, I will punch it. Stop.
Leaf is going to turn into a giant ram. Hold on, I just had it. I'm sorry. Ram search. Fuck. Is going to turn into a mountain goat with
Okay.
a leaf head with little horns coming out of its little eye sockets, and it's just going to charge in and try to headbutt Rosalind away.
Go for it.
I will run it well.
Shit.
So
I have to roll something.
yeah, so Leaf basically like hops over into the pit, changing like in midair, hitting the ground, and then going for the ram, the headbutt, as Maeve also pops over.
We'll say I'm a bore because I don't want to
That's
look
fine.
for other stuff.
That's
I rolled a
Fair
10 with a plus what?
Okay, that'll probably miss. So
Uh,
Rosalind,
wait.
Sorry, what's Dex with no armor, or what's armor with no armor on?
It's
8
10
plus
plus
8,
Dex. Oh, 8?
10 plus Dex. Yeah.
10, yep.
that
right,
meets
right.
thing. She's only got
Oh.
a +1 to Dex.
Okay, so damage doesn't really matter, but we'll say that you hit and kind of push her away from Leo. And Leo, you almost immediately come back out of it. It was more of a stun than a knocked unconscious.
Yeah.
And Maeve, you're able to sort of get between them.
I'll
or
get between
over,
them, yeah.
Over Roz as well.
I think we're done.
Yeah.
Didn't use her magic though.
Because I can't. Is that what you want to hear? I can't. I have been trying. I can't do it anymore. And you know why I can't? And she points right at Gliss. Because of her. I spat in the face of my oath to save her life. And now she goes to try and get herself killed. She points at Hermia. This one can't say a nice word about the person we're trying to get into this party to try and have be one of us. Now we're working with the Myriad. Awesome. Cool. Yeah, great heroes we are. The hell's the matter with all of you? She hops up out of the pit. Her room.
That's where we will end tonight's session.
This one does not feel good and also cannot speak in this form.